Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Professor Sistrunk, and I'm reaching out to my cybersecurity students. So, let's talk about the class. So, 98% of you understand exactly what to do in this class. You signed up for the class. You made a statement saying, hey, I'm going to complete this class. I will be on top of the class. And you are knocking the work out. Kudos to you. So I want to make a couple of new statements, put them out there to also help you individuals. If you have a question about anything in the class, I am opening up my Fridays to where I can have a Zoom meeting with anybody who wants to meet about the class, have discussions about things, so I can give clarity. Now, with the Zoom meeting, you already have the link, so all you have to do is first send me an email and make it clear that it's on Friday. What would be a good time for us to meet, Professor? And then I'll send you an email saying, hey, here go a couple of hours that we can get together and meet. This is a one-on-one, and this is to help you get clarity on anything that you have questions. So you will see me, and I made the statement about this last week, but I wanted to hold off because I wanted to see what some of you would do, because I'm a little bit sketchy about a couple of people in the class. But for the most part, everybody is on top of the work, and I like that. Cool. Now that I see where everybody at, now you will see me just start running through the labs. I'm going to produce one every week just to run through. I wanted to get you guys ahead of me so I can see the type of work you produce in order for me to start producing work and make corrections. Now, you will be able to go back and redo the work over if you see that what I'm producing, maybe you want to produce a little bit more better. But for the most part, most of you have it down, so it's no problem. But you have to step your game up. For some of you, you have to step your game up. It's time to start producing. Every week, you should be knocking out a bundle of labs. You're going to also have packet tracers mixed in there. You should be knocking these things out and demonstrating that you understand the subject matter at hand. Meaning that I should be able to look at your lab and get clarity. Remember, I know the material, so I can tell where you just skip through some stuff, and I can tell where you really was putting in the time. You have to put the time in. Most managers out there who are hiring IT, cybersecurity specialists want to make sure that when they turn you loose on the organization, you know exactly what to do. So just make sure of that. Make sure you understand the material. And that's why I'm going to open up Fridays to be able to have a conversation with you on a particular lab or whatever concerns you may have. This is that phase now where we start digging in and having communication. But it's only open for the individuals who need help. If you don't need help, you don't have to waste your time. But it's for those who need help. You already did the lab, but if you see that maybe you need to go redo this lab over, go do it over, because we want you to leave here with the knowledge. Remember, this is absolutely free. You digging in. Now, another thing I want to point out, you have to read through the chapter. Don't shortchange the chapter. Remember, Cisco has built these courses so they can condense the most important material that you will need in your pursuit in working for someone as a cybersecurity specialist. So to skip the information in the chapter is detrimental to your progress. Do not do that. And you know I can look at the analytics and I'm able to see what you're actually doing. So reach out to me if you need to reach out to me on Fridays. We're not going to do it this Friday, but starting next Friday and the Fridays coming up, we will meet for those who want to meet with me. It's not a requirement. It's only for those who want to meet with me and then we'll give clarity to any questions you may have. Remember, at the end of this course, you will be sitting for a final exam. At the completion of that final exam, I will total all of the grades up, all of the labs, and also the exams, and then give you a score. If I pass you in the class, which most of you I don't see a problem with, if I pass you in the class, then what happens is Cisco sends you a badge. We used to call them certificates, but now the new name for things are badges. And you also will receive a discount voucher, so you can go take your certifications. Now it's important that when you pass the class that you reach out to me about going to sit for the certification, because now it's time to give you what you need to go sit for that certification. So it's going to take a little more study, but I think you'll be ready for it, because now you'll be ready to go get that certification. But what you should be doing is saving your money. It's going to be roughly around $200 to take this exam. With the discount voucher, it should cut it down. But so you should have some money put away to go take that exam and pass it on the first time, not the second, nor the third. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay, so now the next thing I'm gonna do is go and do a lab. This is Professor Sistrunk. Let's go do a lab. Okay, we are back. Now, one of the things that I didn't mention in the first part of this video, and I held it to this part because I want to make sure that guys are actually going through the process of reviewing these videos. Your exams are open. You should see all of them open. If not, please reach out to me so we can take a look at it. Remember, Fridays are days when we can meet up for those of you who want to meet with me, but the exams are open thus far. Now, this lab you have done, you have completed this lab, but I thought that I would go through this lab with you. Just remember that try to do everything inside of the virtual lab. That way you won't have any problems. I mentioned this before in the other section that I sent out, the other video log. So just make sure you do everything in this class inside the virtual environment. And you will use it more and more and more, but just make sure you do your work in there. Starting off, get used to your virtual environment so you can become a very skilled cybersecurity specialist. Now, with this particular lab, I altered it a little. Instead of going through this particular conversation like you did, I altered it to bring it up to date. You will notice that I am going to be talking about the Pegasus project. I am giving you the information here on where you can go find this information on YouTube. So just type this in, and it will be down in the description too. And it's about the Pegasus project, and I want you to do this scenario. So remember, this is a top hacker showing us how it is done. Now, I wanted to show you that things are drastically changed since that hacker presented himself. Hopefully you did the due diligence and went and looked at this TED Talk about this top hacker. Most of you did, some of you didn't. But anyway, so with that being said, we just want to look at the vulnerabilities that is happening out there so you can get skilled up on how to protect the companies that you may work with, and also the companies that you will work for, and also protect yourself. Understand vulnerabilities of wireless and other common technologies. It's important. Remember, I'm talking about the Pegasus project, so I'm not going to talk about the hacker. You went through that. I'm adding some flavor to it. all you need in this particular lab is a PC with mobile device or the internet. So either one, you can use your cell phone to review it. Also, now I'm just going to run a short segment for educational purposes so you can see what I'm talking about. So let's just take a few minutes to listen to this.
With just a single text, you can bypass your phone's security and install spyware that grants complete access to your device. It can access every message you've ever sent. It can access every message you've ever received. It can access every photo, every video, every email. It can turn on the microphone. It can turn on the microphone even when you're not using a phone call to just record what you're doing in the room. It can turn on your camera. It can record what's on your screen. It can access your GPS. It can monitor your location. And it can do all of this without you ever knowing. The spyware technology that makes this possible is called Pegasus.
Now, Pegasus is one of those applications that were created by a company out of Israel. I don't know if it had anything to do with Israel, but it was created by a company out of Israel. And this company is selling this application to massive organizations out there. So with that being said, I just wanted to bring that in for a brief synopsis. I want you to go and look at this information. It is important for a cybersecurity specialist to know, and we want to get you ahead of the game. As you can see, this came out July 19, 2021. It's been talked about for the last 5 or 6 years, but now it's getting really big because they have enhanced it, they have changed it. So it's important for you to go look at this information. And I only showed you this little snippet because it's for educational purposes. It was created and put together by the people at The Guardian. So make sure you duly note that. And here's the information on how to get there right here. Okay, so if you just type this into YouTube, you'll be able to get the actual application. Now, in answering the questions, as you can see, I pre-populated my questions for time. The first question, what is the vulnerability being exploited? Okay, it's the cell phone. They're hacking the cell phone. The next question is, what information, data, or control can be gained by a hacker exploiting this vulnerability? They can bypass your security. They can turn on your microphone. They can turn on your camera. The next question is, how is the hack performed? They simply send you a text message and you open it up. Okay, the next question, what about the particular hack interested you? Well, what interested me about this particular hack is the fact that you don't even know it's happening. This is crazy. But as a cybersecurity specialist, you will be focused on protecting your leadership, which is the VPs, the presidents, the managers, and yourself from this type of hack. How do you think this particular hack can be mitigated? How can we stop this hack? At this point, they're doing research on it now, but sad to say, there's no way to stop it. So, keeping this video short, go look at this, and you see how I did my lab. I didn't have to get fancy about it. I didn't have to do a lot of things. I simply answered the questions. Now, in my next labs, you're going to see me do more and more. I'm going to roll them out to you. So get prepared. With that being said, this is Professor Systrom, and I'll see you in the next lab.